Welcome back to another edition of Top 5 of the Week. We broadcast every Tuesday, bringing you our reading recommendations from the global development space. Let's get into this week's list. In 2019, the World Meteorological Organization published the State of the Climate in Africa. In 37 pages, the report provides a snapshot of climate trends on the continent. The report opens with a summary of key climate indicators like temperature, precipitation, ocean heat content, and sea levels. The report also shines a light on high-impact climate events that took place between 2018 and 2019, such as tropical cyclones, droughts, floods, as well as extreme temperatures. The report presents a regional analysis of the risks and impacts of climate change on food security and population, and highlights the gaps and opportunities in climate policy on the continent. On the subject of the African Continental Free Trade Area, the AfCFTA, we came across the 2020 Futures Report on making the AfCFTA work for women and youth. The report is a compilation of writings on the AfCFTA that explores subjects like innovation, enterprise, and growth, as well as the opportunities for women and young people in the AfCFTA post-COVID 2019 and in their operations in the informal sector. The report also features interesting case stories that profile businesses adapting not only to the COVID-19 pandemic, but also positioning themselves to take full advantage of the opportunities of the AfCFTA. It's 102 pages, but it's quite an easy read with very simple and relatable language, as well as illustrations. There's a very informative section between pages 10 and 14 that provides snapshots of background information on the AfCFTA. Next up is the first ever Africa Migration Report that starts out strong by interrogating the distortions that characterize African migration. At 232 pages, the report is a long read, but very essential, especially for those of us who have been unsettled by the mostly Western-perpetuated narrative around African migration. For those with very little time to spare, the first chapter summarizes the central idea of the report. The rest of the report looks at key trends in African migration and the challenge of migration data. It also explores African migration as it relates to urbanization, internal displacement, borders, environmental degradation, Pan-Africanism, regional integration, trade, remittances, security, health, human development, and unforeseen vulnerabilities. The report concludes with a final chapter that explores the future of migration for Africa. I have to say it's one of those reports that you don't necessarily have to read in one sitting, but you have to remember to come back to it when you feel the need to dive into one or more aspects of African migration. Taking a swift turn to more current affairs, Thursday, February 11th is International Day of Women and Girls in Science. And to commemorate, we recommend the publication by the African Academy of Sciences that explores the factors which contribute to or inhibit women in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics in Africa. The report is the result of a survey on women in STEM and highlights influences on women's capacity to excel in STEM, such as resources, family support, empowerment, peer-to-peer support, scholarships, and support from teachers. It also highlights the barriers to women having careers in STEM and policy options to support women in STEM. The final publication on our list this week is a policy paper by UN Women, which presents the lessons learned from the implementation of a pilot project to end child marriage in Malawi and Zambia. The project contributes to the implementation of the African Union's 5-year strategic plan on ending child marriage. This policy paper has been developed to share experiences from Zambia and Malawi for the benefits of other African Union member states to support their existing and future interventions. The recommendations in the report are relevant to policymakers, project designers, and implementers putting in effort to end child marriage across the continent. Those are the 5 publications we are recommending that you tuck into this week, covering the topics of migration, child marriage, climate change, STEM, and of course the AfCFTA. As usual, we would love to hear your thoughts on these reports, and links to them are available in the notes. Till next Tuesday, stay safe and enjoy the rest of your week. Goodbye.